Hello and welcome to Project Breakout. I'm Kevin Lindenmuth and I'll be teaching you how not to spend money on a low budget movie. The very first thing is the script. You want to make sure that you incorporate everything that you have available to you. I mean, you're not going to write a script about a castle on an alien world, if you don't have that available to you and you're not able to do those effects. So, what you are going to have is you're going to have a house or a building. Just make a list of everything you have available, any cool location, park, nearby park, forest, whatever, and try to incorporate it into the script just to give it, the best visuals and give you the best production value. When I was writing the Alien Agenda movies, I wrote in an abandoned building. And, while I didn't have access to an abandoned building, I did have access to a floor of the building I was working in that was under construction. So there was like pipes sticking out of the wall or wire sticking out of the wall. It really looked like it was a derelict place. And, it was perfect. And it added a lot of production value to the movie. Also, try to keep all the locations close to each other. I mean, you don't want to have one location, 100 miles from another one. Just make sure they're all within, fairly quick driving distance or subway distance, whatever, from each other. So you cut down on the time. You cut down on the whole logistics of scheduling everybody to show up at a certain place and time, and it just makes things a lot easier. So basically, write for the locations that you have, and also try to keep those locations as few as possible. You're probably going to be shooting in video and digital. Digital tapes are pretty cheap, anywhere from $3 to $5 for a tape. You're probably going to be shooting about 20 tapes if it's a feature. In terms of equipment's become far less expensive. If you're not going to be buying a camera or an edit system, find somebody who has it. Exploit your local, film students at the local colleges. Put an ad in the paper. Again, you could probably get them to do it for free for the experience. Work out whatever deal you have to. But again, try to keep it as, budget conscious as possible. With your first movie, you don't need to pay actors. Just be upfront about this with them. You might have to throw them some gas money or whatever. But you can find people from the local colleges or the local theater group or put an ad online or whatever. Just be very clear and upfront and definitely have them sign release forms. With actors, you want to start with the most people first. So if you have a scene that has 10 people in it, you want to do those first because they're the most complicated and probably the hardest to do. So as a production goes on, you have fewer and fewer people. For example, if you have one actor who's in 3 scenes and the scene's at the beginning, in the middle, and the end of the movie, well, you don't want to keep that guy hanging around for like 3 weeks. You only want to use him for a couple days. So I would just try to coordinate those scenes he's in within the same couple of days so that he's pretty much finished early. So the plan is as the production goes on, you have fewer and fewer people you have to deal with. And that way it kind of ensures, any actor kind of bailing out at you at the last minute, because you don't want to have to go back and, have a scene where you shot with an actor 2 scenes and he's not available for the 3rd scene, which is necessary, and then you're going to have to go back and reshoot all those 3 scenes with the different actors. Kind of a nightmare. So basically, it's kind of almost like an insurance of just, making sure that you get all their scenes, that they're done, and then you move on. Food is probably going to be your biggest expense because, a well-fed actor is a happy actor. If they're not getting paid, the least you could do is feed them. So just make sure that, they're well-fed. You have snacks, soda, stuff to drink on the set. If you're shooting during lunch, take your lunch break, order pizza. And the best thing is to have the food delivered to the location, not to go to a restaurant or out to the location. That way it saves a bit of time. If you have any special effects or anything like that, you want to do them all at the beginning. You want to do the most difficult shots first, the ones that are hardest to get, the most intense, because you want it easier as the production goes on. You don't want to just leave it to go, oh, we'll just worry about that later. We'll just do that later. And then, when later comes, you're going to have all the stuff to do. So just knock out all the hard stuff first. The most difficult, the things that are going to take the most time, the most money, just so you get the most of your budget and make sure that you can actually do those things you need to do for the movie. And then just leave all the other stuff, later on. So, attack it, with the most work first, the most actors, the harder locations, and then basically kind of check them off your list as you're going through your movie. So that by the time that you're finishing your movie, you're done with most of your actors, you're done with all your effects, you've used at most of your locations, and it's just basically you could just take your time and do it right. And that's the important thing, is to do the movie, the best possible movie you could do with the budget that you have. And that's, all you can do. And I've done this, many times with my own productions. Basically, you got a couple $1,000 or whatever, and you're just doing the best you could do. But hey, that's low budget production. Thanks for watching. I'm Kevin Lindemuth on behalf of Project Breakout. Tune in again for more career advancing advice.